Carrie Morey is a mother, a wife, and of course, the owner of Callie's Hot Little Biscuit. Now she's documenting her life on public television with her own docu-series called How She Rolls on PBS. I talk one-on-one with Carrie about the docu-series and what's next for Callie's Hot Little Biscuit for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Carrie Morey, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
I am so glad to be back. It's always good to chat with you, Quintin. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I know that you're extremely busy, so thank you for this. Obviously, you're making a lot of news right now because of your documentary on PBS called How She Rolls. It's a 10-episode series following Callie's Hot Little Biscuit founder, Carrie Morey, which obviously debuted back in May 13th, that is. And as I mentioned, the title, How She Rolls. The series details Morey's life as an entrepreneur and how she kept her business afloat during the COVID-19 pandemic. How do you roll now as an entrepreneur?
Well, as I was thinking about last night was the last episode that aired here in South Carolina. So as I'm thinking about my life as an entrepreneur, a business owner of many businesses and a mom, right now my hardest job is actually being a mom. I got 3 girls under the age of 17, so we're in the thick of it.
Yes.
And it's interesting how life as an entrepreneur parallels being a parent because, you never know what's going to happen. Every day is different. There's always a problem to solve. So the parallel is very interesting. So today I'm a mom. I am talking to you, but right now weighing heavy on my brain is my mom hat. So, but in about an hour, I will go back to being an entrepreneur, and I just kind of constantly flip back and forth. So life is good. There's never not a problem. Sorry, somebody's at my front door. There's never not a problem to solve, whether I'm being a mom or an entrepreneur. So life is totally as it always is.
Absolutely.
Very full of ups and downs and lots of things to conquer.
What are you conquering now?
I think right now I am trying to figure out a plan for really smart growth. We have established a 16-year-old brand that has an amazing following thanks to our incredible customers. I have been able to launch an online business and wholesale business, a brick and mortar grab and go eatery business. I will have 2 cookbooks in October. And I'm asking myself that same question. What's next? How do we grow all these avenues? Do we take one and grow it one at a time, or do we grow all of them slow and steady? I'm doing a lot of soul searching, a lot of reading, talking to different experts, and just trying to figure out what is the best way for smart growth that will continue to put our company on the map, but also make sure that we are doing it the right way.
And I'm going to get to that in just a second. But you just said 16 years. What is the biggest difference between 16 years ago and right now when you think of Callie's Hot Little Biscuits?
It's so different than it was 16 years ago. We've been through a name change. We've been through, when we started the business, it was just a mail order biscuit business. We had 1 flavor of biscuits. Then about 6 months into it, 2. Now we have, I can't even count how many. We have so many complementary products, and we're so much more than a biscuit company. It's almost like we are somebody said the other day, you satisfy the Southern craving. And I said, that is a really catchy phrase. I may have to use that. So, my goal is to be the best biscuit company in America, but not just a biscuit company. I really want to be your go-to source for all things Southern. I want to be a resource for entertaining and food. And, I want you to eat biscuits, whether you eat them from our website, whether you eat them from the grocery store, or whether you come and experience our grab-and-go Hot Little Biscuit bake shops.
Oh, that just is so amazing. You talked earlier, obviously, Carrie, about your documentary, How She Rolls. And I want to ask you this. When you look back at May 13th to right now, what is the biggest difference about the documentary?
That's a great question, Quintin. I don't know that there's a difference. Everyone keeps asking me, how do you feel now that you've been on national television? I don't feel any different. It's just me. It's just the same thing. definitely have some new followers and some new friends, and the outpouring of support has been unbelievable. And probably my favorite part about it is reading letters from people that that we have touched or inspired. And obviously the reason I did the docu-series is because I wanted to be able to share my brand and my story and my biscuits with the rest of the country. But secondly, and almost most importantly, is, like I said, being a mom, being an entrepreneur, being a small business owner are all things that deal with major daily struggles. And so if I could put my story out there and relate to somebody, to have my story resonate with somebody that could take that and say, okay, I can do this. I'm not the only one dealing with these same struggles. That to me is a gift that I can give everyone, a motivator, a cheerleader, if you will. So that's really my hope, is to be able to connect with other people and say, you can do this. We're all in the same boat,
Yes, indeed. And obviously with the docu-series and your regular, business, obviously, and being a mom, who is motivating you?
I think I'm motivating myself. I have a lot of people that are, their eyes are on me, and most importantly, my 3 daughters, my husband. I have a lot of people that are looking to me for support. We have 75 people that work for us, and I know it's my responsibility to set the tone and to wake up and have a positive attitude no matter what's happening, and be the leader of, we can do this, we can get through anything, it's just another day, and problems are things that we eat for breakfast, so let's do it.
Yeah, yes. So with the 75 employees and the problems, how do you set that tone right now?
I start every Monday with a motivational email to my team, talking about what's going on, usually a motivational quote. That's why I love following you, because you always give me good inspiration. I talk about all the great things happening. I rarely talk about the bad things happening, because to me, problems are things that are fleeting. It's in the moment. We're going to go to it. We're going to tackle it head on, and then we're going to move forward, and we're going to look for the next problem and just kind of keep moving forward and keep pushing. I talk a lot about positive things. I talk about what we have to look forward to, what we're grateful for. And, I think it's all about being a trickle down leader. If I have a great attitude, if I come in and I cross the threshold of my businesses and I sprinkle sunshine and rainbows to everybody, then that is infectious. And, part of my job employing 75 people is to make their day. They're not going to do a good job for me if they're not in a good mood. So everybody has that armor that they have on, that they come to work with. And my job is to get them to take that armor off and to have the best day at work, because I know that if they're happy at work, then my customers are happy, my biscuits are beautiful. Everything affects that. And everybody has so much going on in their private lives. We never know. We can't walk in other people's shoes, but we can have empathy, and we can make people's day in the moment. I may not be able to solve your problems, but hopefully I can create a happy environment and a great place for you to work.
As a matter of fact, you said this quote: from implementing staff furloughs to mitigating the costs of spoiling perishables, that is, the pandemic, that is, provides an opportunity to explore important themes such as innovation, resiliency, and providing leadership through uncertainty. What are you certain of right now, Carrie?
I think the only thing I'm certain of is that we have right now in the moment. And so you have to live every day as if it was your last. Let's go through and work 110%. Let's treat every customer as if they are our only one. Let's make every biscuit as if it's the only one we're going to be able to sell. You only have right now. So I want to impress upon everybody, don't worry about next week or 3 weeks from now. Plan, but know that that plan could get derailed. And let's just live in the moment and do our best work today, and then wake up tomorrow and say, I'm going to do it again because I got the opportunity to do it again.
That's exactly right. And how do you gain resilience and drive innovation?
I think that when you're resilient, to me, that equates positivity. And when you're positive, then you're always hopeful for the future. And when you're hopeful for the future, then you can innovate and brainstorm and come up with new ways to take your company. So, we just had a brainstorming session with a glass of wine and some really good food with about 3 other team members. And I said, we need to shake things up. Like it's just a little bit too mundane. Let's think out of the box. What can we do? Let's do some limited edition products. Let's shake up the market. We need something fun to talk about. And we just started brainstorming about our favorite comfort food. I was like, we've got to do a monkey bread. We need to do biscuit crackers. And so we're doing it. And there's no rules behind it. We're not following the same rules that we've always followed when we have traditional R&D product research. We're just going to whip it out and see what happens and do very limited edition just to shake the market up a little bit. It not only stimulates our own creativity, but it excites our customers. And from that, we'll see how they react to it, and then we'll make a plan going forward. And it's just kind of fun. People get sick of doing the same thing over and over again every day, so you kind of have to shake things up.
Yes, indeed. And what does the market look like right now, Carrie?
We're in a great economy right now. I'm actually surprised. I thought for sure when we came out of COVID that things were we were gonna go into a recession or inflation. I think we're in the beginning of inflation, but I also think that people have a lot of money to spend right now because they spent a year and a half not spending money and staying at home. We are seeing our bake shops, except for Charlotte, all of our bake shops are really busy. People are so excited to be out. They want to experience, they want a vacation, they want to eat and shop. Our website is not seeing the same and crazy traffic that it was seeing this time last year. We had definitely a dip from March to the end of June, but now we're starting to see it come back up a little bit, and people are starting to gear up and think about holiday early because I think everybody's anticipating supply chain issues again. So they're already starting to think about, okay, I better get organized. So it's fun to be in this moment after a year and 3 months of real struggle and a little bit of depression too. I mean, everybody deals with it differently, and it's been a hard time for so many people. So it's kind of like the roaring 20s. Everybody's ready to go. And so we're going to ride it as long as we can. And then whatever comes next, we'll handle it.
And what are those supply chain issues that you are really concerned about going forth?
I was just on the phone with our flour supplier who obviously it's our main ingredient. So I keep in close contact with him. And he said, they're watching things really carefully. They are ramping up. They're trying to get ahead of fourth quarter sales, which is also an incredibly busy time for them. Everybody's hunkering down. We're making changes in our bake shops. We don't have our normal eco-friendly napkins and our normal boxes that are printed with our cute logo. Like, you know what? We just have to pivot, and you have to offer something else and know that it's temporary. And, we're having issues with meat. And so we're going to pivot to doing other things. And, you can't get caught up in what you don't have. You have to just go, well, this is where we are. And this is and I think that's what COVID's taught us. Like, this is the least of my problems. We have a business. We're open. We have customers. Let's embrace that and be positive.
Exactly right. And let me ask you this. In the face of adversity, that is, Carrie, do you protect what you have, or do you seek out new growth opportunities?
That's a great question, Quintin. I am always seeking out new growth opportunities. I always take meetings with anybody that asks. I think it's a privilege to be asked to speak to somebody, whether it's just to have a conversation or to talk about a possible new idea. I don't act on all of them, but I am, as my husband says, a lover of shiny new things. So I'm always saying, what can we do next? What can we do next? And my husband's reining me in saying, nothing, just chill. Let's go on vacation.
Yes.
It's a little bit of a problem, but I'm always wanting to hear other people's ideas and brainstorming and dreaming about my own. I'm definitely more trepidatious now than I probably was before COVID. And I'm thinking about things a lot more, and I'm measuring and weighing out the pros and the cons. It's not just COVID, it's this labor problem that we're having that I don't necessarily know is going to go away when unemployment goes away. I think there's a much bigger problem going on that we don't maybe necessarily even understand. And so it's hard to grow when you have trouble hiring. And, that's what's holding us back right now. That is the one thing that's holding us back from growth. But that doesn't mean that we can't still talk about the growth, dream about the growth, and plan for growth.
What were your short-term actions over your long-term initiatives?
Well, I'm definitely more conservative now than I was a year and a half ago. And my long term plans were to have 5 more hot little biscuits in the next 5 years. I'm not sure that I'm going to make that goal. But, that's part of being an entrepreneur. You have to set your goals and know that you may make them and you may not, and you may have to regroup and pivot or, change things up a little bit. So, I always think about those long term goals, but I'm also not going to get disappointed if I don't meet them. And we can always make new ones. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. And let me go back to, obviously how she rolls. You said this quote, I was raised on public radio and television programming, so it is truly an honor to have SEE as the presenting station of how she rolls. How did PBS and Callie's Hot Little Biscuits mesh?
well, it would not have been possible without SCETV, and they are the single reason that we have this docu-series, How She Rolls. When COVID hit, SCETV decided to grant the funds to continue making the series. And if a lot of people don't understand that public television is completely funded by donors. So as a new series, part of my job was to raise the money.
Oh.
And when COVID hit, nobody's giving money. Nobody was giving money. So they really believed in me. They believed in the story of How She Rolls. And so they funded it. And I'm forever grateful for that. And, as we conclude the series and it becomes streaming available and becomes a bingeable and on Amazon and all those things over the next couple of months, we'll see what the reaction is and decide whether or not it's worthy of a second season. So we'll see.
And I was in the Old Village last Friday on the electric bike, so I was going like 20 miles an hour down, Royal Avenue.
You didn't come see me? You didn't stop by?
I didn't know you lived there. I'm sorry.
I do. I live on Church. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that, but I live in the Old Village. You
right.
text me next time you're in town. Come over for a glass of tea or something.
There you go. What was the reaction from the people there about How She Rolls?
In the Old Village?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I don't know. I don't get into all that. I don't know. I hope they were proud. I hope they didn't feel too exposed. I grew up in the Old Village. My first job was at Pitt Street Pharmacy. My parents lived down the street. And I just hope that I didn't expose the Old Village so much that my neighbors are not happy that people are coming to visit. But I actually think Outer Banks did that way before I did. So I'm not going to be the one that's blamed for exposing the Old Village to all of its fabulousness.
Yes, and I love it. It's just amazing. And I love First Baptist Church on McCants Drive too. So that's
cool. Yes, I love it too.
Yeah. Well, I know you're busy. You have to run to the next meeting, but thank you for your time again here on Quintin's Close-Ups, Carrie.
I love seeing you, Quintin, and I want to see you at Hot Little Biscuit. I'll have your bacon biscuits ready for you the next time I see you.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. I love it.
Good. All right. Take care and stay cool. It's hot.
Yes, ma'am. It is. Absolutely.